Okay, there we go. Instagram. Go live. Here we go. Oh, I actually have to change the text up here so people understand that full screen view on Rumble. Otherwise, people on Instagram, hi everyone. If somebody's watching now, please go over to Rumble or Facebook or X or anywhere else, but Instagram can't show the full view. So on Instagram, you're kind of just going to see the middle of the two of us. You know how it works, guys. Just head over somewhere else. So we'll do it there. There we go. Full screen view. Oh, here we go. Okay, we got it all. Now let me check the sound. So do a little talking here. Joe.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Let me see. Check in. It's a little delayed.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet. How now, brown cow?
Here. Hello. Can you hear me now? Okay. I think it sounds fine. Okay, everybody, if somebody thinks it sounds weird for some reason, it sounds good to me. If you are watching and you think it sounds weird, please let me know now and not 2 hours into a live stream. That would be very nice. Hey, right? The sound is weird. I'm like, yeah, we're done now. So today we are Facts with Maaxx, episode 18. And I just named this episode The Man Who Saved 4 Million Kids because Joe here is a very special man. And he's kind of a role model to, about a year ago, I found my life's purpose. I just sat at home one day and this podcast pops up and I see Joel, and I don't know any of these guys back then. I had heard of Joel, that was about it. But we never met or anything, had no clue about any Acemannan, never heard of this, didn't know who Joel was or anybody. And fast forward a year from now, Joe is my family. I love this man, and I am just super excited to be a part of this mission. And this is I want this life to just be your highlight. So please tell everyone, who are you and what do you do?
All right. My name is Joe. I live in central Wisconsin, and I'm just a normal everyday guy that learned about some pretty cool molecules in 2016 is when I met Sam Castor. So I guess that's kind of where the story starts. I met Sam Castor. He introduced me to Acemannan.
How did you
I knew a little bit about.
How did you meet
What's
him?
that?
How did you meet him?
Oh, so that's a good question. We had an event in Minneapolis, and at that time, we had some of this good food technology. We did not have Acemannan. Mm-hmm. And Sam he came to the event and, was kind of looking at what our technology was, looking at our culture, looking at our community and some different things. And so, I'm a pretty friendly person. So when I see somebody I don't know, I usually go up and introduce myself, as you're aware of. Mm-hmm. And so I just said, hey, I'm Joe. What's your name? And started talking with Sam, and he ended up, partnering basically. And that was the foundation for what Alovea is today. Mm-hmm. He basically, became our CEO and brought Acemannan to the table and some new other things. But yeah, I mean, Sam was the first person I met that, I could say he gave me purpose. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've always liked helping people. I've always had a heart for helping people and health and finances. And if you can be good at one thing, you can be good at everything. Mm-hmm. But I never realized, I didn't, like most people that are probably watching this, have no idea that every year 7 million children die, of malnutrition. Mm-hmm. And so when you break that down, it's literally one child every 6-7 seconds, 7 million a day, because they get sick. They don't have they don't have a strong functioning immune system. They don't have good food. They don't have good water in a lot of cases. They don't have good health care, and they get sick and they just never get better. Mm-hmm. So when Sam started talking about, all these children that were dying from malnutrition. At that time, I had a brand new baby girl, and so you know, it just when he started talking about these children, it just kind of spoke to my heart
Mm-hmm.
because my daughter obviously was getting enough to eat. She's got good medical care. She's got parents that love her.
Mm-hmm.
And when he started talking about these children, it just kind of grabbed me. And I said, if this is true, what he's saying about Acemannan, and we're using it to save kids, then I want to be part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing now. It's
So people understand.
literally been 8 years, right?
Just so people understand, so Joe said you did food technology before Acemannan. So what he's talking about, he was a part of something different where the Betalains technology that I always talk about, they were doing that, then found the Acemannan, and then was like the perfect marriage here. So that's what he meant.
Perfect. That's well said. It was, we had a lot of success with Betalain technology, and it helped me with my feet discomfort. It helped me with shoulder issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't, I guess I thought it was normal. I played sports in high school and college, and I thought it was normal to every time you rolled over
Mm-hmm.
to wake up because of shoulder pain.
I
And when I started taking
me too.
Yeah. So I just thought that was like, oh, that's what it's like. That's normal.
I started laying
And
on my back. I had I torn my shoulder, and I like to sleep weird, right? So I always woke up every morning and I had so much pain, and then I kind of like forced myself, and I hated sleeping on my back, but I forced myself to learn how to sleep on my back, and it actually it fixed a little bit of the stuff for sure. Like I would wake up and I'm like, oh, this is not bad. I guess I'm a back sleeper now. And now fast forward, actually every now and then now I sleep on my side and it's fine.
yeah, I've always been a side sleeper, and I, sleep on both sides. I don't know what the where how you're supposed to sleep, or a lot of times I sleep laying on my stomach, which some people say is good or bad. It kind of depends. But I always had shoulder pain, and taking the Betalains helped with that substantially. And then when Sam kind of came in with Acemannan, it was a perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I met him, when you get a chance to hear Sam speak, he is very authentic. He's very genuine. So, there's he's just really a good human being, and you
Yeah,
feel that when you're talking to him. So when
absolutely.
he said we're gonna eradicate childhood malnutrition across the planet, in this day and age, the fact that 7 million kids die from malnutrition related issues is kind of ridiculous. We can do better. So yeah, I mean, we just, that's how it started. And, we started sharing the molecules with people, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what I was talking about with Rachel the other day, Max, and it took about 3 years or so. I think it was 3 years, maybe even 4 years to get to for us as a group, as a collective, to
Mm-hmm.
get to 100,000 servings.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're already like right there in a year. Do you know what I mean?
But I mean, like,
So that just
part of it now, just knowing the struggle it is now, I can only imagine, because now people at least are interested in hearing about it. And I said, like, COVID was a blessing in a way, I think, in many different ways for humanity, because we started thinking differently. And now people are open to listening. But it's still kind of like because when I share the story, and I like, now I've been a part of it for a year. So now I'm kind of like, okay, I share the information, I planted the seed, let's go. And then people come later, hey, that thing you were telling me about, like, I want to do it now. Well, then I'll see all the new people that have just joined, like Rebecca, the woman I posted the other day that now had a heart condition that is now completely gone. She is as excited as I was right in the beginning. Oh my god, I can't believe this person doesn't fucking start the product. So,
yeah.
yeah, I know, I
No,
know.
and that's I mean somebody asked me the other day, you know, how how did you do it? Or how, and sometimes I truly believe this, and this is gonna sound a little silly, But I
Yeah,
think I was too
the old
stupid.
banging
I
my
think I was.
come in.
I
Sorry.
think. I think I was too stupid to quit. Really,
Mm-hmm.
and and because what happens is you share this molecule with people, and they have a life changing event,
Mm-hmm.
or they have a life changing testimony, and you get to be a part of that. And I guess that's what I'm addicted to. I'm addicted to being part of somebody else's story.
Yep.
And then a byproduct of that is we save kids.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, it's like once you understand what we're doing and how we're biohacking the body, and
Mm-hmm.
once you understand the mission and the heart of what we're doing, if you choose not to participate, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's like I don't understand if someone says they don't want to take the stuff or they don't want to share it. I look at it like I must not have explained it well, because
Yeah. I
in
mean,
my mind,
I feel like I haven't actually gotten that at all. Yes, I've had some people that are like, okay, get back later. And to be honest, which that's why, I mean, I was just like this and like on people in the beginning, but then I stopped. And then, funny story, but I had some people that I spoke to way in the beginning, maybe like March last year, right when I had started. And I was super excited and telling everybody. And I had people from back then that now just started because now they've been seeing, oh my god, I seeing all your videos you post, and I mean, like, wait, this is what you were telling me about. Like, okay, I'm all in. Like, you just have to find that one thing that touches people. And one thing that because to me, the fact that we are helping people with pretty extreme things, that's special to me. While I made a post a little while back about my hair, I mean, it never even crossed my mind to make a post about my hair because that's nothing compared to a person that might not be alive. Like, that's a whole different thing for me. But I made the post about my hair, not a big deal. I just realized that my hair got really thick and long and crazy. Oh my god, that week, I don't know how many women I have in my DM and old friends who used to know how bad my hair was, or like my old hairstylist literally just bought the product, and all these women like, wait, Maaxx, I want thick hair. And I'm like, girl, I talked to you a while ago. You have an autoimmune disease, but you just want thick hair? Like, that's what's getting you to start this. So, like, sometimes we just have to find that little one thing that is the trigger for the person, right? And it's not
one hundred
what we think it.
percent. It well, I don't. You'll get to meet Natalie in North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and um, you know, there are a lot of very like Rebecca's story. There's a lot of very powerful transformations,
Mm-hmm.
and I think sometimes if the person sharing their story, if they don't have a 8 out of 10 type story,
Mm-hmm.
then they feel like, oh, my story's not that great.
Yeah.
Well, Natalie posted her baby hairs growing, and her hairstylist got started today. So it's like,
I actually had a couple of people that was saying to me, "Oh, I don't know, I don't feel like my story is that special." I'm like, "Bitch, you had acne and now you don't. How is that not special?" Do you know how many people would kill to get rid of their acne? It's kind of special. It's just, yeah, you're not dying or anything, but like
yeah,
my hair, I didn't really think that was a big deal, but clearly the hair is a big deal. I mean, we live in a world where we care about
huge.
what we look like.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with a guy, and he's an older guy, and the only reason he got started was he was waking up 3, 4, 5 times a night to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
And typically that's a sign of some prostate issues.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's extremely, it's not normal, but it's extremely common.
Yes.
And, he's lost a little bit of weight, but he's like, I don't know what to share. And I said, every guy over 40 either is getting up to pee at night or knows
What is
somebody
better
that's getting
than
up
like
to pee.
anything? Yeah. I even
I
know
go,
I've had a lot of men joining, and that is one thing I've heard repeatedly. Yes.
yeah, with the dioxygen. I don't
Mm.
know if I'm saying that right. That's
Dioxygen.
how I say it. Dioxygen. I mean, that helps with hormones, and the Acemannan helps with hormones. So,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of guys don't sleep well because they're getting up to pee a half a dozen times a night. And
Yeah.
if all of a sudden we can help them with that, and their sleep
I
improves, their health
agree
improves, their life improves, their love life
with
improves.
you. What do you think? Like, I didn't. Well, I always thought it was because I'm a bodybuilder, right? And I drink a lot of water, but I drink just as much water now, and I don't get up to pee now.
Yeah, I think it with men. I think it's a antihistamine issue and a hormonal issue, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's some physical prostate stuff that can happen to guys. Again, I'm not a medical professional, just a common sense dude.
We're not medical
Um,
professionals. We just help you stop dealing with what you're dealing with. That's all. And a lot of
Correct.
medical professionals, they don't actually do that. So just saying.
Well, and that's the thing is yeah, it's there's a time and a place for everything,
Mm-hmm.
and when you focus on what the nutritional when you get your nutrition dialed in, life is better.
Yep. We actually have a few. We have Ben on the live and we have Snake on the live. So these are two people that have
Nice.
recently joined. So Ben is already having a crazy story with his hair. He's actually kind of the one who inspired me to do my hair post because he was balding, and I'm sure guys, people have seen his posts about it. And I think so. He took 6 immune a day or 6 Acemannan a day, right? And I mean, I
Yep.
didn't know he was taking that much, but he was like, let's see what this is about. Like 14 days later, he's like, Maaxx, like no hair is falling out anymore when I'm showering. It's like thicker. And I was like, in 14 days? I was like, what? That's insane because I was like, and everybody's order is different. I feel like my hair got really, really, really good now, like after a year. But then also my main things were actually my hormones, my lady things, like ovulation cramps and swelling went away. That was my first thing I experienced of all, which I thought was incredible. I'm like, no cramps? Like, is this even possible? Like, I didn't even think that was possible. That's just life, right? I've had it my whole life. And then after that, obviously, all my joint issues that I had, which I had literally in my entire body, which the same. I just get used to it. And I did bodybuilding. So everything was cool because you can alter everything. Now I'm training MMA. There's no altering here. Like, if I was not on the product, I couldn't do MMA because I mean, again, anyone who's listening that actually knows me and have known me a long time know how bad my knees and my wrists were. Like, I would maybe I've asked you sometime, hey, can you open this for me? Or like, obviously people were not with me in the bathroom, but I used to hold myself in the walls to sit down on the toilet. And I mean, every single time. And I was having laughing with AJ, one of our new people too, AJ Ellis, that was telling me he always had to like hold his hands on the toilet seat to get down. I was like, oh my God, I used to do that too. That's so funny, Not on public toilets, but
Yeah.
on at home.
Well, and it's there's a lot of things in life that are common,
Mm.
so we don't necessarily question it. And a lot of guys have knee pain and shoulder pain, and you're brushing your hair, and you seem to see more and more hair in the brush than you do on your head. So these
Mm-hmm.
are all things that are normal or common, but they're not necessarily normal. They shouldn't be normal, but we've just accepted them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always hope. There's always improvement if you're looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's the stories. I mean, some of the simplest stuff, people would brush their teeth in the morning and they'd always be, have bloody gums. And I
Mm-hmm.
know
Yeah.
probably 100 people that their teeth don't bleed anymore when they brush their teeth. I
Yep.
know people that were on a path where every 2 or 3 years they were getting a new prescription for their glasses. They were getting their prescriptions. I don't know what the right word is, but they were getting thicker lenses, right? They were getting stronger glasses. And I got a guy in the Eau Claire area that literally every 2 years he was getting a new prescription, and he hasn't had a prescription change in 5 years now. And his last one, they actually made the glasses 5 years ago after he'd been on it for a year. They actually made the lenses less, they went backwards. You know what I mean? So just all kinds of really cool stuff when you let Acemannan do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much science behind it. I mean, we don't need to get into the science, but if you want science, we've got it.
Yep.
We've got over 700 peer-reviewed studies. We got 200 million in clinical research. I mean, we've got the science.
Yep.
But when you allow your immune system and your macrophage and your cell-to-cell communication, and you allow stem cells, your body to create stem cells naturally,
Mm-hmm.
good things happen. And sometimes people will get started. I had a guy, his name is Pete, and he was a truck driver. And he got started with us because his thumb hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we put him on the Acemannan, the Dioxygen, and the Betalains.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, hey, let's do it in days. And in 90 days, you're going to feel like a new man.
Mm-hmm.
And about 75 days in, he called me and he goes, man, this stuff is really working. I said, oh, good. How's your thumb? He goes, my thumb feels the same, but I never realized I had serious digestive issues. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, for the last 15 years, literally every time I eat, 20 minutes later, I'm in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that every day for like 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back in my mind and I said, hey, what do you got going on in your health? And all up was his thumb.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Don't
And
think
so it's like,
so used to it.
yeah, he'd gotten used to taking, going to the bathroom 4 or 5 times a day right
Oh
after
my God, Joe.
basically he had,
Go like
digestive issues.
I'm not kidding. I used to go
Yeah.
today. Probably.
And so he got started for his thumb. And then, basically after 75, 80 days, radically changed his life. It made him more a happier person. It made him better at work because he wasn't having to pull over the rig all the time to go to the bathroom. And it made eating just better because he didn't have that issue. So, everyone's working on something. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got a lot of people that can benefit from our stuff.
Yeah. Okay, Snake was saying too here, his hair is stuff falling out as well. That's awesome. I'm going to play a little video clip of us meeting the kids. And then after that, I kind of want you to just share your own story and the different things you
Sure.
have. Okay, so
Absolutely.
a lot of people have seen this before.
I would like,
Joe, we're in Mexico.
as it already is, to be
Some good
a
looking people in that
reason
video.
Yeah.
or a symbol of absolute peace, prosperity, abundance, and change. Creating that tribe of people that can actually bring change when they come together.
And that's it. I mean, you don't need the funds. You need the collaboration. You need the love. You need the tribe. You need the community. You need the resonance, right?
Yes.
With that, everything else will be created. Going through the money is an old way. You don't need to do that anymore. Go directly to what it is that you're manifesting. We're not manifesting through space-time anymore. We're going directly into time-space, which is source of ultimate reality, zero reality. From there, you can create anything you want to. I don't need money for that. Screw the fucking money. Nobody needs it. Without money, there is abundance for all. Right?
Yes,
Money creates poverty.
Hey. Okay, mama. Okay. Yeah.
Right?
All right. You want to play that game? All right. Okay. Yeah, all right. I feel like I know what...
You're talking abundance. Don't talk money to me because that is not abundance. That's poverty.
Oh, say that again.
Money is poverty.
There was. And actually, wait, Joe, so what is your Instagram is Busch Joe?
I think so.
I think so. Because I know that you posted, where was that? The little girl we were swinging around? Is it this?
Yes, that's her right there. That's Marlene.
I know you posted it.
I think there's a reel of it, and I think there's the picture. If you go down, it's right above the penny.
This one?
You see the penny?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. So that was her, and now she has a little arm.
Yep. We bought her a hand. there
That's
it is.
horrible.
I
Yeah.
mean, that was, when we were down there,
Good.
you could tell she was very self conscious about not having a left hand
Kind
because
of
she would
felt
hide it.
because I didn't even see that she didn't have an arm actually until later in the day when I was picking her up and swinging her around, and I'm like, oh wow, she doesn't
Yep.
have.
Yeah. And in talking with the caretakers down there,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like she was born without it. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times in different parts of the world, if someone has a birth defect, they're kind of shunned,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they believe that they did something wrong. God is punishing them. God is punishing their family, their parents,
Is that what they
and so you could.
they teach?
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's it. One of the caretakers said that, and that's why she was always hiding it, because she didn't want people to like to be the first impression.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she was the whole time she was covering it up, and I just noticed it because I think I gave her 800 piggyback rides.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I talked with,
Horses.
long story short, we had a handful of people that wanted to help her get a prosthetic. So we raised some money. We got her a new left hand, and part of the issue with that was getting her to traveling, because she lived about 40 miles from the doctor, I guess. So we sent some extra funds for transportation, and we sent some extra funds so that in the future, if as she ages, she can maybe get a more animated, or
Oh yeah.
I'm not not
Probably
not animated, but
too, I would assume.
functional. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
a more functional hand, like in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's you start helping people, and you help people change their lives, and then you see the impact you're having with kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's once this gets in your blood, it's in your blood. You know what I mean? If if you join Alovea and you just want to eat our stuff, hallelujah. But it's really hard, like, once you understand what's going on in the world with these kids, and how really they have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty powerful. I mean, I will do this until, for the rest of my life, every day I will try to
How
talk
do
to
you
Alovea.
feel? So I just remember, and again, like I've never been like a kids person, and that's a different story from like that's a story for another day. But I thought most of my life that I couldn't get pregnant, so I kind of just like just accepted a life without kids, and that probably
Yep.
made me into who I was. I wasn't very interested in kids. Kids are fun. Usually other people's kids would think I would be fun, I would be playing with them, and people always say I'm a child, so I would just like play with them like a child. But that was about it, and didn't really think much about it. Then obviously I've known for years now that I definitely can't get pregnant, uh, because doctors are stupid. But again, that's a different story. But I was never still like a super kids person. And I'm just sitting there that day and I hear this podcast with Joel, and he says, I'm going to eradicate childhood malnutrition. And it was just like all of me just knew in that moment that this is my purpose. And I don't know, like I don't like it's crazy because I've never in my entire life thought that my purpose was going to be save kids. And I'm just sitting there and I just knew, and I had goosebumps, and I was just starting my competition prep, and I called my coach and I said, I don't know if I'm going to compete this year. And she said, oh, why not? Well, I'm going to save kids, I said. She's like, oh, okay. And I'm like telling
Yeah.
her, and I said, well, because I've already manifested when I first joined that I was going to go to Mexico and see the kids. I had already decided that I was going to be on that trip, and it was just around the same time as competition. And I'm telling her, well, technically I didn't know if I was going, right? Um, because
Yep.
it was like a thing you could win then. But then I said I'd already decided that that was it. And then I said first, okay, fine, I'll just continue doing my prep, and we'll see what happens. But I never really committed to it. And then I called her the one day to tell her that I am absolutely not competing. And she just said first, well, Maaxx, why can't you go on the trip? And like, is the trip on the same date as the show? I'm like, no, it's like a month away from it. And she said, so why can't you go on the trip and compete? I said, because I am not going to go meet kids and eat 6 meals and go to the gym. There is no possible way. Like, could I have managed it somehow? Yeah, maybe. But I was like, I cannot go on a trip to kids that don't have food and are starving and having my mind that I have to get my 6 meals in. Like, there's just no possible way I'm going to do this. And I tell her, well, I'm going to go, I'm going to do this. And then when I'm on the phone with her, all she said was, Maaxx, I just got the chills. You do what you got to do, she said.
Yeah. No, and that's, I mean, how many people can say they've hung out with the former president of a country like you did, Maaxx? I mean,
Yeah.
how many people
Cool.
can say that they were at Vicente Fox's childhood home and the
Oh,
history that's there, and then
beautiful place, by the way.
seeing the kids? Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, knowing what you know now, you can't stop because I picture it every day. Like, if I don't move the ball forward, there's a kid that's got an empty bowl, or
Yep.
a kid that is got pneumonia because their immune system can't fight off the cold that they got 2 months ago,
Yeah.
and we can save those kids.
And
And
I
a lot of these kids,
I'm not gonna. I'm
yeah,
looking for my bigger number. Well, either way, we have an app that says how many servings we've sent to children, and hey, everyone to themselves. But I look at that thing more than how much money I make,
me too,
because
100%.
I mean, and I got an email the other day, and it says, okay, you know, you're helping 300 children a month, and I'm like, that's not enough.
Well, no, that's the truth though. Like, when I started, Maaxx, I thought, okay, I grew up in a city of about 100,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, you know, if I could nourish 100,000 kids, that would be pretty flippin' awesome, right? That'd be cool.
So Brandon,
And
Joe, what are they? How many kids are you actually helping?
well, now it's 4,225,000. But my original goal was like, if I could get to 100,000, that'd be pretty sweet. You know what I mean? And now I'm pissed that we're not at 5 million. Like, we should be at
Uh,
5 million.
oh.
And I haven't had a haircut since October 3rd of 22 because I told my daughter I wasn't going to cut my hair until we got to 5 million servings.
Mm-hmm.
So, it,
This is
it's just,
her that keeps
I
her
just,
dad accountable.
yeah. And I just, it's like a game. To me, it's a game. It's, every time I look at this ridiculous hair,
Mm-hmm.
I think I should probably go give somebody some Limitless. But it's, I don't know. I just think love is at the center of what we do. Our name is Alovea. And there's never, when you start nourishing children, nobody can unnourish them,
Mm-mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know. I just think it's the coolest thing ever. And it's rewarding and it's real science. And the more people you help, the more kids you save, the more they compensate you. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yep. You get financial freedom. You can work for yourself. You save kids at the same time, and you get healthier. And you can help everyone you know and love to get healthier. And there was somebody told me, oh, but like, I have some people that they love the product. I don't really know. I don't really know though. Like, I'm not good at selling. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a story, because when I lived in Sweden, I worked in sales for a while. So I worked at this place where we sold Premier League, like soccer, for TV, right? And I was the number 2 in the entire country. I only worked at this place for about 8 months, and then I quit and I made a lot of money. Let's just say that that money helped me move to this country. So it was worth it. But I was sitting there and they were always talking about me in the office because I was the best one in our office. I was number 2 in the country. Number 1 was not in our office. So there was like competitions between people. And my boss would always be like, look at Maaxx, how she does things, like blah, 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 blah. And every day I was be like, I hate this shit. I don't want to do this. And I just quit. And I think everyone at the office was probably super shocked that I quit because they were like, wait, but you're almost number 1 in the country. You're quitting now? Like the competition isn't over yet. You can still be number 1. I don't give a fuck, I said. I'm out. Because I was like, what am I selling people? Who the fuck needs this? I mean, there are people that like Premier League, don't get me wrong. But when I am like on the phone with a deaf and blind person, like what the fuck? And they're actually interested because we know sales. And I said, we're not selling anything. We are not selling anything. I'm like, I can help you with whatever you're dealing with so you don't have to deal with that anymore. And if you want to be sick, I mean, that's on you. So I always tell people, like, you don't have to do anything. Do you know what all you need to do is just get healthy. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
You don't think that
Yeah.
people that know, let's say you don't even want to talk to anybody. You don't think that, I mean, look at me. I made one post about my hair being thick. And everyone I knew in my fucking life that has seen my shitty hair is now calling me, asking what the fuck I did with my hair. Like, what do you actually need to do? Oh,
I'm
just
telling you, yeah,
happy and fucking well.
yeah, it's,
People are gonna come
you know,
to
well, let's say you take the average person, right? And the average person, maybe they don't sleep great,
yep.
and they get on our stuff. They eat our food. They lose some weight. They sleep better. Their hair grows better. Their skin looks better. Their general outlook and disposition is better.
And they're
Someone at work's going to say, dude, what are you doing?
or they're just happier, they have a better attitude, they're nice to people.
100%.
Like people are gonna notice, even if they can't put
Yeah,
a finger on it.
100%. And I mean, this is and this is an interesting story. It's true, and I'll try to keep it as compliant as I can. But my mom was diagnosed with multiple clumps of bad cells in her intestines,
Multiple clumps.
and
Is that
she had
a medical term for
clumps of bad cells.
it?
Um, you know, and they rhyme with one of the reindeer's names. But she had these multiple clumps of these bad cells in her intestinal area, and we put her. The diagnosis wasn't good. They were saying like a year, and I had her take. And to this day, she still does it. She fights me on it because I'm her son. If you told her to do it, Maaxx, she'd do it. But she started taking four Acemannan every 4 hours she was awake. So literally for 6 years now, she's been taking 16 a day. And in October, she's cancer free now 5 years. And they originally thought that this could be the end of her. You know what I mean? So I've seen too much to know whether you feel it or not. The science is working. I've seen too many people that received a bad news. Some bad news, and 6 months later, 90 days later, a year later, they're healthier than they've ever been. So it's like once you see as much as I've seen, there's nothing that can take that experience away from my belief is so high.
How many years of stories are you on now?
8.
8 years. I've only been a part of it for a year, and I have more stories than like I mean I hear something from somebody every day, and I tell people, wait, I have goosebumps when I'm saying this. I wake up in the morning and I look like I'm trying to not look at my phone first thing in the morning because that's not really good. I want to get up and like do a little bit of vibration plate, meditation, and see the sun. But sometimes I wake up and grab my phone immediately, and I never regret it because there's always something there of somebody saying something, and I'm like, I just woke up and you already made my day. And it
Oh, think about this.
smallest
Yeah, I mean,
things, you know?
I
Like, I
mean,
want
think.
people to bother me all the time. Even if it's your first week and you felt something, tell me. You don't have to wait till you have the craziest change in the world, you know? Like, just the fact that you had somebody that actually is going to come back on my life soon. After only 14 days, this person had been struggling getting out of bed and actually skipping the gym several mornings because just wasn't able to get out of bed, into now going, went an entire week, woke up like whatever he said 4:30 in the morning every single morning the whole week with energy, and felt like, wow, I want to train. He's like, no, he's like, this got to be placebo, like there's no way. He's like, I haven't done this in so many years. And then he was like, okay, this is like the end of the week, I'm gonna take the day off from the gym. Woke up in the morning like, I want to train. I mean, like, that's kind of a big deal. Even if like all the things haven't happened yet, that's pretty huge. And for this person, that was massive because he was like, oh my God, I didn't struggle this week.
Yeah, I mean, and so think about this, Max. So you've been around a year.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how many more stories and how much more belief and how much more impact you'll have 7 years from now.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? And
That's
that's why I kind of laugh
dedicated my
because
life to this.
for
All I do
for
is train and this. This is all I do.
yeah, and that's why Joel and I kind of laugh is because for the first couple of years, people thought we were out of our minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And COVID opened up a lot of people's eyes. You know what I mean? And once you start to learn about ivermectin and what the media said ivermectin was versus what it was designed to be,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you question things and
Yeah.
the truth. What I've learned is the truth doesn't mind being questioned.
No.
Lies don't like being questioned. And so, that's, the stories and it's like every day I got to share this. So this happened probably about 2 years ago. I got a call from, I won't use her whole name,
Mm-hmm.
but Lorraine was her name. And she called me up and she's about 82 years old. And her husband, Roger, is like 5 years older, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she called me up. It was like a Thursday morning. I'm driving down the highway. And she said, "Hey, Joe, I've got bad news." And I said, "What's that?" And I'm thinking, oh no, something happened to Roger.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Roger can't take Alovea anymore." And I said, "Oh, why is that?" And she goes, "This, swear to God, this comes out of her 83-year-old mouth. All he's got boners all the time. And he won't leave me alone. So I'm taking him off of it."
Oh
And
my,
I
hilarious.
about drove off the freeway when she said that. And, and then I got another
Oh,
buddy of mine,
be the best story.
Mike Olson. Mike Olson, he was having performance issues and we got him on the dioxygen and now. He's got 2 kids. And
Yeah.
so when you get to help people do those kinds of things, I get a lot of joy out of that. And there's
Have a few people right
so
now that have been told that they're too old to have children, and let's see, I'm gonna be one of those stories too because I turned 40 this year and I'm still gonna have kids, and I
I
am not.
love it.
And whenever it's time, I would like to have a fight first because you shouldn't do that with babies.
No, that is fair.
Yes,
That is fair.
but
Well, when you have your first MMA fight, I'm
uh,
flying out for that. It's
oh
going to be awesome.
yeah, it's going really really well, actually, really well. But I want to hear your story or all your stories. I mean, you can kind of start on just because you started the Betalains first.
Yeah, I mean,
Things you've
I
done.
mean, it's crazy because a friend of mine, you know him, is Brian Morgan. A
Mm-hmm.
friend of mine, I used to make fun of him because he walked like he had a broomstick, you know,
In his ass.
and it's because his feet. He worked in a steel mill in St. Paul, Minnesota, Gerdau Steel, and he worked ridiculous hours. I mean, he was working. I think he worked 6 12s, or yeah, it was like six. It was like 6 12s or six 16 shifts. You know what I mean? He worked every day, and then on Sunday he would go in for 8 hours. So he was working like 95, 100 hours a week. But he was making a ton of money, but it was killing him. And his feet were, I mean, he had tried orthotics and acupuncture and chiropractic, and he had done everything that he could think about for his feet. And really the only thing that was helping him was he was taking 20 ibuprofen a day.
Oh God.
And I think he was probably having some Irish whiskey at night. You know what I mean? And so
and whiskey, this sounds like a horrible mix.
yeah. And so, and he was he was just miserable. And, so he started on the Betalains, and, it was, Danny had found out about it. His wife, Danny, is like the healthiest person. She's like you. She's like a super healthy person. And so his wife had found out about it, learned about it, and he started taking it. And I remember it was like 2 weeks, give or take. It might have been 11 days, whatever. But it literally took 2 weeks, and it was the first time in, I think, 2 years that he didn't take any Advil. And he was like, dude, my feet finally feel good. Well, then his attitude got better. He started going to the gym again. He lost 40 pounds. And I'm watching my buddy who used to walk like he had a broomstick up his butt, because his feet were so inflamed, he's getting healthier. And so I said to Danny, I said, hey, you think this stuff would help me lose some weight and get healthy? Because I had been to the doctor, and they wanted to put me on insulin for type 2 diabetes. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to lose weight and not be an idiot. And so that's how I started. I just started because I saw Brian, his transformation, and, he still shares that story. But if it wasn't for his horribly inflamed feet, I would have never learned about this.
Yep.
That's 4 million kids right there.
And that suddenly looks better, and then you get curious. So that's what I say. All
Yeah.
you got to do is just get better. People will see. People will notice. They're gonna ask you what you're doing.
And so I started eating our food technology, and I'm not. The first few years I was part of this. I ate all of the subs. I ate all the food technology, and I didn't really change anything else, and I got healthier. So, like, I'm not, I mean, I did enough training, and so I don't love to train. I'm not, I'm getting back into it more, but I've got to find it so it's doable, like for my life. But I mean, I'm not the picture of health, but I'm so much healthier now than I was in 2016.
You are very, very, very relatable to a lot of people.
Right.
I think sometimes, and like if I talk to somebody and then people look at me and they're like, yeah, but you're like extreme, right? I'm extreme, and I guess I am to a lot of people, but even us extreme people had a lot of issues. But then people, oh, but you're so healthy, like I can't do what you do. I mean, yeah, but you can. So I think that's great. I mean, I love that you say that. Okay, he doesn't love to train. He does. He does some things. He doesn't love to train. Maybe he likes some food that isn't super healthy from a farm all the time. Like, you don't have to be crazy like us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm a normal human dude. I'm your average Joe. I live in Wisconsin. I mean, the people eat cheese and drink beer here. Like they eat cheese and drink beer before church. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, I know that I try to live the 80%. But I feel. I mean, if I was as regimented and is some of the trainers and the professional athletes, some of the people, yeah, I'd have different results, but I also know myself well enough to know that I'm probably, gonna eat a fish fry on Friday nights, and I'm not always gonna, get as much sleep as I should, and it still works for me, and it works for everybody as long as you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
It works for you, and whether you're, I mean, most people don't know this, but Sam, the first people Sam really worked with
Mm-hmm.
on this Acemannan technology was the 1980, like the 1990 track and field Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 90s, the fastest 5 dudes on earth were taking Acemannan.
Yep.
You don't think they had some questions? You don't think the Olympic Committee had some questions, right? So, I mean, if it was good enough for Leroy Burrell, fastest man on the earth, and Carl Lewis, it's probably going to help your D League softball game too. It's
Yeah.
probably going to make your golf swing better. It's
Mm-hmm.
so it's I feel good, I feel clean, I feel healthy. Am I perfect? No. But am I healthier today than I was 8 years ago? Absolutely. I think I look younger. My skin is definitely better. I
I
mean,
was
I'm not a skincare
that
guy,
you've had some
but
pretty good, cool results recently, right, on the new product, the new core product, because
yeah, the
I
core.
believe that that is actually what made my hair the craziest, because I think my hair was better before, but ever since that one came out, that's when I'm like building lion's mane here.
Yeah, and the core is so easy to take.
Mm.
Like if I'm having a cup of coffee, I
Mm-hmm.
put it in my coffee. I just drank a warm fix and a core.
I'm drinking.
Um, yeah. So I mean, the core is that's it's got to be functional because if it's got to be functional. The science has to be good, but it has to be functional so people will incorporate it into their life. And our stuff is easy to take. It tastes good. Like the prime chocolate bars. If you haven't had the prime chocolate bars,
Been sold out when I was gonna order. I haven't tried it yet. I tried the other one.
oh my God, Max, they're so good.
I,
I mean, they're sinful. I'm telling you that's so good they are. When they first came out, Sam sent me a box of 14 of them, and I think I ate 10 of them the first night.
I
And I
would have
called
probably done the same.
I called Sam and I said, we got to put a warning on this. And he goes, why? He goes, these are so good. They make you want to, dig up your grandmother. I mean, they're phenomenal. I mean, and it's healthy and it tastes good. I
What
mean, if you haven't tried
up
the,
your
the
grandmother?
prime chocolate
What
bar,
kind of saying is that? I've never heard that before.
oh, yeah.
Is that some Wisconsin thing?
Well, no, I'm just trying to edit it because I know people are going to watch this. So, I'm trying not to
That's really funny.
get too much slang in there. But yeah, they're the chocolate bars. I mean, yeah, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it because I tried to order and they were sold out, and then I kind of forgot. And so no, I haven't tried, but I tried the cherry one.
Yeah, the cherry. I mean, the cherry ones are good, but they taste like healthy. You know, they're good, but they taste healthy. Like
Yeah.
no one's gonna be like, "Oh, you accidentally gave me this healthy." Like it's healthy when you eat the cherry ones.
Uh-huh.
The chocolate ones are made by this chocolatier family in Kentucky, and all they make is like this chocolate. And I'm telling, there's if you like chocolate, you
Yes.
could a fat guy trick. You put peanut butter on the prime bar,
Oh,
and then you put it in the freezer. Oh yeah, Joe Bush approved.
I'm sold. I love chocolate and peanut.
So do I.
That's funny. Yeah, the core, and actually, I don't know
So
if I told you that, but I did a test a little while ago. So the core is helping with detoxing, right? And especially heavy metals. So I did a test and I have zero heavy metals in my body. I just did it
wow,
a couple of weeks ago.
that's
And I
awesome.
just did my blood work last week. So I did my blood work in January last year, right before I started the product. And then I did it now just now last week, so I should get the result probably this or next week. And then I'm gonna do a live and show it. Like, I don't even know what I'm gonna see, but I am pretty certain things are gonna be different. And not to say that my blood work was bad last year. It wasn't bad, but there were definitely things that could be better. So I'm very, very curious to see.
Well, last January, I had they came out for life insurance and they gave me a physical. Like they come to your house and they take some blood and some urine and I got the blood work back. I think it was like 30 days later,
Mm-hmm.
and the nurse actually like she actually came out and they pulled more blood because the insurance company was like I think you messed this up,
Uh-huh.
because what she told me is that I had the blood work of like someone 28
Mm-hmm.
and I was 46.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like they came out and pulled more blood,
Mm-hmm.
um because like, and I'm not, I'm on, I'm closer. I got some extra weight to lose, right? No one's gonna say, "Oh, look at that guy. He must train 8 hours a day." You know what I mean? So I think that their blood work tells a lot, and we're all on a path and a journey to get healthier, and I'm continuing down the path. But if your blood work is saying that you're 20 years younger than you are, I think that's a win.
And guys, again, like, he's like not training like an athlete, not eating like a crazy hippie farm person like myself. I haven't always been that way. I've been pretty shitty. I used to like donuts, so I don't judge. But like I want to do my bioidentical test, and if people don't know why this is possible, so we do something called de-aging. I even have a shirt. I should have worn it right now. That would have been perfect right now. But so I know Joel always like to reference the Tony Robbins book, and I've started doing it too because I think it's a very good explanation. So when you pump your body full of stem cells and reduce cellular inflammation, you start to de-age, which Joe here is freaking proof for that it actually does that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna run unless someone's chasing me, or I'm doing a sport. You know what I mean? I'm not going
Mhm.
out for a run. Um, but I do like to do I do like activities. I do when I do work out, I like to go where there's more competition stuff.
Mhm.
I try not to eat fast food, but have I eaten it? Yep. I still, I've cut way back on my beer consumption the last 8 years, but
Mhm.
I still suck down a Busch Light from time to time.
Mhm.
So, I mean, wherever you are in your health journey, whether you're a professional athlete or you're just a guy who, I just want to look. Next time we go on a trip, I want to look better at the pool. That's my
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
Just look a little better at the pool. Every time I go somewhere where there's a pool, I want to look a little better.
Yeah.
So,
Snake
yeah.
here is inviting you, Joe. He said so. He started the products, I think, yeah, a few weeks ago, and he's now down from 242 pounds to 220. So he said, "Train with me,
Wow.
Joe." So
I
he's
love it.
now, yeah, he's keeping me updated, and he's very excited, and he's feeling better, and obviously, so I right now as far as I know, Snake, I think I'm saying it right. Right now, he's only doing cardio, and then he's gonna go into the weights after. But he's wanting to get some weight off first, and he's going really well, and I think he's feeling a lot more energetic, which is obviously making it better. So hopefully you guys get to meet Snake. I hope you're coming to Dallas, because I know you're not coming to the trip that we're doing now, but Dallas trip, everybody who's interested should join now so you can actually come and participate. I want to share a story about the Dallas trip last year, because I hadn't even met the kids then. So the Dallas was the first time that I met all of you. And believe it or not, but that's around the first time I actually met Joel too, because we had talked, but I hadn't met him in person. So we go to Dallas. I don't know anybody there really, like, more than that we've been talking like this, but I've never met anybody. I walk into this room and I don't even know what to expect. I'm like, okay, it's supposed to be some sort of seminar, so whatever. I don't really know. And I think one of the first things that happened was the love, whatever we call it, the love seminar with Linda, Sam's wife.
Yep.
And I said, I have no idea what it is. Like, I'm walking in, I'm sitting there, and I'm a spiritual person, but I used to, for many years, I didn't believe in God. I just believed in the universe. I guess that's the best way to describe it. And I would always, talk to the universe. I was the one who would say, like, okay, universe, but that's how I would talk. And I was like, it doesn't feel right to me. I don't know if I believe in a God or something like that. I walk into that seminar. I spoke to God. I left that room and I'm like, I don't know what I just experienced here right now, but I think I'm in the right place. I mean, and then that night I went to bed and I took the relax spray, and I was like in meditation before I hit the bed. And it like my visions and just everything was just the craziest. And again, like I haven't met anybody, and people would just come up and just I was like, this is just my family here. Like that, this is it. So anybody out
Yeah.
there that feels like you don't have a family or you don't anything like, here's the thing, your family doesn't have to be blood. Not to say that I don't love my family. I actually love my family very much. We used to not have the best communication for some time, and now my mom and sister are fully committed on Alovea products, and it's fantastic.
I love it.
And they're feeling better.
Well, and that's the thing is we've got we've got room for everybody at our table. I mean, when as a company we're going against some of the largest industry, some of the biggest players in the world are are up against us and what we're trying to do. And so, in order to nourish 7 million kids a day, we need we need nurses, we need school teachers, we need influencers, we need professional athletes, we need stay-at-home dads, we need everybody.
Yes, we need
And
our
so there's room wherever you fit. I promise you there's room for you in Alovea. Whatever you want to get from it, that can happen. And it takes a village to whenever you're going up against something as big as big pharma, and you're going up against some of the things in the world that are hurting children.
mm-hmm.
um you're going to run into we need everybody. And it's Joel jokes around, but
Mm-hmm.
we get 3.5 million people to eat some Betalains and some Acemannan twice a day,
Mm-hmm.
and magically we have 7 million kids that are nourished. I
Yes,
think that is very likely going to happen.
I think it's
And when it
inevitable.
happens, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, wow, where did they come from?" You
Yep.
know. And so I'm excited.
So
I
I've had a vision for a while of us getting called up on a stage. I know what the stage looks like. I know how big the audience is. There's a blue couch on the stage. They're calling us up, and basically, just we are talking about how we saved all the children.
love it.
And I've
I
been
received that.
ever since the beginning.
Yep. No, and I truly believe when I met Sam, he I say this, and this is he's like my Yoda. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
love the guy, and you know he's he's had a ton of success, but he might be the most genuine human being I've ever met.
Yeah.
And and when he explained what we're trying to do, and when he casted his vision, it went right into my soul. And I believe they will write books about us. I believe that we will
100%.
eradicate malnutrition, and I believe that once we do it, we can find another social issue and tie it into Acemannan. So I think this is something that can go on forever.
And it all
And
and well, I've been sharing a little bit with people, so yeah, I'm in training to spiritually. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about remote viewing and that the military justice kind of things, but that's my journey, and I feel like this all the pieces go together. And I want to not only help nourish them, but I want to help find kids also.
Yes.
And
And
I
that's
would say for anyone who wants to help, you don't have to do all the things. You don't have to do the craziest things. Like, you don't really have to do a lot. Like, only you wanting to get healthier for yourself and buying products for yourself and feel better, you already helped kids. Just that
right.
is helping kids.
Well, and I look at it like this. If someone's watching this video,
Mm-hmm.
more than likely they're drinking something for energy, whether it's coffee or energy drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're probably eating some kind of um, pre-workout healthy protein type bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll say to somebody, I'll say, look, do you like coffee? And they say, I love coffee. Great. Will you drink ours because A, it's better for you, and B, every time you drink a cup, you save a kid?
Yep.
And most people go, yeah, I could do that. I go,
Mm-hmm.
great. If you just do that every day and you have one cup of coffee, you're going to save 365 kids. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough. Now if you want to do more, if you want to add a prime bar, great. But what happens is you start somebody off on, hey, let's replace that cellular, let's replace that Celsius, or let's replace that Red Bull. Let's replace that Powerade you're drinking, or let's replace your
Honestly,
pre-workout.
and I think this kind of goes for the majority of people, because I'm sure everyone in the world has heard of a multivitamin. And it's probably the most common question I ever get. Oh, Max, so do you take, either they ask, do you take a multivitamin? Or they say, I am taking this multivitamin. And I was like, oh, that's great. Do you feel better? Did it do something for you? Because, okay, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people, they're using some sort of vitamin or something. We have, and here's the thing, I don't even like when people say, oh, you guys do supplements and vitamins. And I was like, it's too good. It doesn't like, these words are not good enough. I say food technology,
Correct.
and anyone who starts joining this, I always tell people, use the word food technology, because it's not good enough. I've worked with supplements for like 10 years. It's not good enough. Vitamins, it doesn't do it justice. And do we have a multivitamin? Yes, kind of. Like an equivalent-ish, but it's just so much more and so much better. So if anybody here is taking anything at all, and actually this is a true story. So I have a lady talking in my DM with her, and her husband is having a lot of issues. So I'm sharing the information, and she said, yes, he really needs to take this, but it's too expensive, she said. So conversation continues. I'm trying to work with her and helping her out. Okay, we got to figure this out. We'll figure something out. Turns out that her husband, because of his issues, have been over the years piling up on new vitamins, right? Their cabinet, he's taking like 30 a day. 30 vitamins a day. I'm not exaggerating. She sent me a picture. And I said, "What are you paying for that?" I am telling you to maybe take two things. I mean, if you can, here's the thing. I think that if somebody can, if you can do an integrated bundle, you basically have everything you need, pretty much.
Yep.
Like, you don't need anything else. You got everything. If you believe in the multivitamin, yeah, there is a product in there that would be equivalent, but way, way, way better. And you got everything in there. You don't really need anything else. You're getting your stem cells, you're reducing your cellular inflammation, you're regulating your hormones, and you're getting all your greens and vitamins, or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, girl, just scratch your 30 vitamins, and now you're only paying this. Like, you're going to save so much money. And then I talking to a friend the other day who said she couldn't afford to start this right now. That has now been in bed for, I don't know, 10 days maybe, can't move, can't work because of a little something that happened. And I said, well, 10 days you could have not only probably been fine from what happened. Like, I'm not going to share the details. I don't know if the person wants me to do that, but I know what happened, and I know that would have been fine. in probably a couple of days tops. Probably would have been back to work, and also maybe if she shared that story, probably would have made the money back with what the product cost too. If she would have shared that story, and like 2 people were like, "Wait a second, what? Oh, I'm curious in that." Now you already made your money back. So
Well, and that's the thing is if somebody gets the integrative health bundle,
mhm.
it's gonna cost them. I think it's $7.76 a day. And if someone, there are people that money is tight. It is what it is. So I'm not trying to pick on
Yeah,
people,
there's different
but
levels.
I say to people, I say, look, if I followed you around today, Larry, am I going to watch you piss away $8 worth of money today? And most people will stop and go, yeah, probably closer to 15.
Or
Because you stop at the gas station,
I had this
you
that I wanted to do almost like a TV show where I would follow one person for the entire day and I could tell them right away why they have health issues. I don't need more than a day. I can tell you right away. But that's another one just to see how much money people spend.
yep.
They spend way more than the thing. Just think about it. You know how many people go to like Starbucks or something? What is that? I mean, that's not cheap. And it's
No,
like
I mean,
too.
yeah, I don't know what the average. I mean, I think you can go to Starbucks and just get a black coffee, but I don't know if anybody does that.
Oh,
So if you're spending
their coffee is
$5 on your
uh,
morning coffee,
shit water. Here's the thing. I'm an old barista. I used to work and teach people coffee, and I competed in coffee. Starbucks is not coffee. Starbucks is Starbucks. It's its own thing. And if anybody dares, it's almost like with the food technology. Don't call it supplements or vitamins. Don't call Starbucks coffee because it isn't. It's dirty shit water. That's what it is. That's what the fuck you're drinking. I've seen how these people handle their machines. I say I used to compete in this shit. I know everything about the coffee. And they have no clue what the fuck they're doing. It's probably a bunch of mold in it too. That's my
that's
guess.
what I've heard a lot of coffee beans has mold issues.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of coffee is picked by children
Mm-hmm.
that are not living their best lives, so to speak.
Yep.
Um,
I'm getting paid.
so I mean, there's a way you can incorporate this food technology into your functional life and make it work. And what happens is you get someone started on the coffee or maybe the multivitamin or one or two things, and a year later they're eating all of it. It's just how it
Oh
works.
yeah. Joe, have you seen my I need to take a picture of it. So I stocked up a little because I don't like running out and I also like to have stuff for emergency. I also am in an MMA gym and I also had like just an example a couple of weeks ago one of my friends was in a car accident and it was pretty bad. So I overnighted her stuff products because if you order on the website there is not overnight shipping, right? And it was very urgent. She's in the hospital. So like I just like to have stuff stocked up, right?
Onion.
I have
Yep.
more
Yep.
than 6 months worth of products. Easy. Easy over 6. And I have it just since I came to the gym here, I have a couple of stories. So the first thing I did right when I came here, if anybody trains MMA, you guys probably know that you can get stuck with your toe in the mat when you kind of like twisting. You're obviously not you're supposed to step and not twist. And I mean, like, I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm training, and then I'm like, is my toe bleeding? I wonder why. I didn't even know what I did. Either way, that night, my foot swelled up and it hurt so bad. Oh my God. It hurt so freaking bad. So I was just icing on and off all night, and I took, I don't know how many of the Betalains I took, probably 6 or something like that. And I mean, day after I was fine. Perfectly fine. Normal. That's story number one. That one wasn't so extreme. After that, I destroyed my knee. So I have hurt my other knee when I was younger in kickboxing. Actually, I tried a kickboxing class just for fun and I popped the knee completely. Wasn't walking for almost 3 months. It was horrible. Then I'm training here And I got to do a pro class, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I did it and it was cool and fun and everything. Right in the end of the class, I just hear. And I was like, oh my God, no. I wasn't walking like at all. And I don't go to doctors, so I don't have like a diagnosis because I don't give a shit. But it felt exactly the same as the other knee. So I'm going to say I torn something. And I took 10 Acemannan and like 4 or 6 Betalains, I think, per day for 6 days. And on the 7th day, I was walking completely normal. Then fast forward to a couple of weeks ago. So I this one I don't know how it happened, but I stand up and I have so much pain in my hip. Like I was like, I don't know, like what is wrong with me? I can't even walk. And I get down. I went to see Joel, and he had to literally like so I sat down or something. I don't even know how I get down. I couldn't get up. He had to lift me up, and when he tried to even as much as touch me, I just screamed. It hurt so bad, and I can take a lot of pain. And I was like, I don't know what I did with my hip, but like it hurt so bad. I don't know if I want to cry or what. I don't know what to do. Uh, brutal. I didn't sleep for 2 whole nights. It was just insane pain, and I don't take painkillers. But I took I did like 10. Did I do 10? I think 10 Acemannan, and I think I did 8 Betalains for 2 days. On the 3rd day, I trained. And so by
That's
this,
awesome.
I went. We have like like an office here in the gym here with chiropractors and all of this. So I went to them. Yeah, the first day I went there, and this guy is like trying to work with me. And he say, "You have a tear in your hip," and I was like, "Really? Like, are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah. Like all like everything just says that you've torn it." And I was like, "Damn." Okay, crazy. I mean, like, okay, but 2 days, 3rd day training, completely gone.
Yeah, I
Not
mean, it's
everybody in
Ace
the
Man and
world is gonna get well in 2 days. That's not what I'm saying. But we
yeah.
had so many stories, and I had so many friends getting the flu and stuff. And I just texted them and I said, "Pop like 10 Acemannan and like 6 Betalains," and they did. And then call me the day after, "Yo, I don't have fever today. My throat is fine. I'm on my way to work now. You were fucking right." I'm like, "Yeah, I know I'm right."
No, it's yeah. I mean, I eat a lot of Ace Mannon. Because I had a guy tell me, his name's Ken Anderson, and he was when I first started learning about Ace Mannon, he was telling me that your body doesn't waste any of it. It'll
Yeah,
store it. It'll use it. It
98%,
it doesn't. None of it gets wasted.
98%, yeah. Which is crazy because typically, if somebody out there is taking supplements and vitamins, I think that I don't know the exact number, but as far as I know, the body only takes up to 30. If even that, I don't even think it's 30%. It's very little, and then your body just gets rid of everything else as waste, and it takes up 98% of the Acemannan.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really good stuff, and I think I truly believe that I am a person of faith, and I truly believe it's interesting that what we have our hands on is so good for people, and then we're also using it to save kids. And so I this it's so much bigger than just a company or a job. It's a mission, it's a passion, it's a purpose. And so most people are looking for legacy. Most people are looking for having if you're going to work tomorrow and it's noon and you're on Facebook, or the first thing you do when you get to work is get to your desk and go on social media, maybe there's something else you should be doing, because
Yep.
and that's why I'm so glad that the Morgans asked me to look at this, because Brian's bad feet led to my yes, led to other people's yeses, and then Maaxx shows up. And that's just how this works. Is It's probably the best decision I ever made was to just trust. When I met Sam, I had a feeling like whatever this guy says, I'm just gonna do, and it has never let me down in 8 years. And you know, it's pretty dang cool.
They have a really cool. I watched the interview with Sam and Linda. I'm gonna put it in the caption for this live. It's pretty long. I think it was like almost 3 hours or something, but it was pretty incredible. And they're sharing their entire story of how it all went down. How they had a lot of obstacles, and like long story short, Sam even left his own company because the shareholders didn't want to send stuff to the kids. They wanted the money, I guess, for the shareholders. But yeah, it's a really cool story, and I'm gonna put it in there. And I'm gonna play this video of Sam so everybody gets to see him, and he kind of explains the Acemannan too. And this video is awesome, and everybody can see who Sam is.
Acemannan is a word you've probably never heard before. But after you watch this video, it's one that you'll never forget. Acemannan is the miraculous molecule found in the inner leaf gel of the Alovea plant and is the ultimate superstar in the realm of health and wellness. There's something in the fresh gel of the Alovea plant that triggers an immune response unlike anything that we've ever seen in modern medicine. But here's the kicker. Whatever that special activity was, it turned out to be pretty fickle. Because within 24 hours of picking the aloe vera leaf, the magic in the gel vanished into thin air. But where there's a challenge, there's an opportunity. The researchers embarked on a mission to discover the molecular structure responsible for this amazing immune response and stabilize it. And they did just that. They found that the secret ingredient was a polysaccharide that they aptly named Acemannan, which is mostly made up of a sugar called mannose. Now here's a fun fact. Mannose is essential for the proper structure and function of every cell in your body. Talk about an unsung hero. They were able to stabilize this fickle polysaccharide. Since then, the formula has been refined, and we now possess the most potent, completely non-toxic Acemannan on the market. We call it Alovea AE. So, how does Acemannan work its magic? Well, it operates in 3 key areas: supporting cell structure and function, improving gut health, and optimizing the immune system's defense and repair mechanisms. It's a multitasking powerhouse. The research on Acemannan is absolutely mind-blowing. It enhances macrophage activity, boosts stem cell production 300 to 400%, aids in wound healing, supports the immune system's defenses against viruses, bacteria, and fungi, and even helps the nutrient absorption and cognitive function. It's like a superhero taking care of your body from the inside out. Now that we've uncovered the impressive benefits of Acemannan, it's no wonder why Alovea has chosen it as the foundation ingredient in all of our products. We've made it our goal to connect this amazing nutritional technology with those who need it the most, vulnerable children around the world. Our Buy One, Nourish One model of social giving is a game changer in the health and wellness industry. For every Alovea product purchased, we donate a month's supply of Hope Booster Mighty Milk to a child in need. These nutritionally dense products are packed with the goodness of Acemannan. This is at the heart of the Hope movement, a sustainable model that aims to provide life-changing nutrition to 7 million children worldwide every day. We believe that every child deserves access to optimal immune support, especially the most vulnerable. And we're on a mission to make that happen. Acemannan is the first of many remarkable nutritional technologies donated exclusively to Alovea's Hope movement. We're incredibly grateful for the trust and support bestowed upon us by these esteemed scientists. Their belief in our mission has enabled us to bring you the very best in nutritional technologies. As you can see, Acemannan isn't just about your own well-being, but it's also about impacting the lives of children across the globe. So let's join hands, harness the power of Acemannan, and revolutionize the way that we approach health. Together, we're making this world a healthier, happier place for everyone.
That was that video. That's the first video that I ever saw. I mean, besides the podcast Joe was on, but that was the first video he sent me. And then I looked at it and I was like, yes, that's rabbit hole. I love rabbit holes. Because the funny thing, I used to work for an aloe vera company in Sweden. It was one of the biggest aloe vera companies in the world. It was an American company, actually. And I remember we had aloe vera juice and a gel. And back then, I was like 15 or something at that time. And I was like, ew, this juice is kind of nasty. So I didn't drink it myself. I think I used the gel sometimes on my skin or whatever. But I remember when I worked there, a lot of people had really crazy, like cool experiences with like, skin problems or like burn things or whatever. So I knew about aloe vera a lot and I loved it. I was like, I'm all about it. I know it's really good. And I was like, he said something about aloe vera. Okay, I'm curious because I had also, I got, when I moved to Vegas, first, it's so dry there. I moved from Florida to Vegas. So it's humidity to dryness. So my skin kind of like freaked out for a while. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so dry. Like I felt like my face was going to fall off of me. And a makeup artist from a photo shoot, she told me, hey, buy aloe vera plant and freeze it and ice your face with it. So I did it. And in only a couple of weeks, my face, everything went away in my face. So I was like, clearly, I mean, like, yes, aloe vera, everything. And then I started learning about this because, and this, I think it's important for people to know this, it is possible to be sensitive to actual aloe vera. I can't eat it. It would screw up my stomach completely. I could put it on my skin though. So then when I learned about Acemannan and that the fact that the Acemannan isn't the aloe vera, like it comes from it, but it's not the same thing. So there's no toxicity in aloe vera. And like he's saying in the video, it has mannose, which is essential for the body to function, right? And mannose is also found in mother's breast milk. So if there's anybody out there that has some sort of sensitivity to aloe vera, you're fine. You're fine. You can do it anyway, because I know I have it, or I had it at least. And I'm wondering if somebody does have sensitivity or allergy to aloe vera, since Acemannan seems to do very well for people with allergies, such as myself. I don't have any allergies anymore. I wonder if it take away the aloe vera allergy too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much the original. I remember Sam said the original usage patent for Acemannan,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have the words memorized or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
long story short, the original utility patent was every disease that requires the human immune system to be functioning for curing the disease can benefit from Acemannan.
Well,
So basically,
in the world,
any condition that you have that requires a good active immune system, Acemannan will help that situation, right? So,
basically.
basically anything you got going on
Mm-hmm.
can be is because your immune system can't keep up, whether your immune system is overactive or underperforming,
Mm-hmm.
and Acemannan will help that. And then you start to really look at like the history of it and what they've done with livestock with Acemannan and
Yeah. And
vaccines for horses with cancer vaccines with Acemannan, and
yep.
it's really really interesting stuff. So yeah, if you're I'm not the science person, but if you're a science person, we've got all the science you could ever want.
Yes.
And what I've
I put
found is most people that want the science. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I put this in the caption. I don't know if on the computer it doesn't let me open them for some reason. Hold on.
Yeah.
I was gonna show people because
So
the funny thing is a lot of these studies are like on the government's website. Oh. Some diet.
yeah. So I mean, it's you know, it's mentioned in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. If you're Christian and you want to go see, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, it's in all four Gospels. It's what they wrap Jesus' body in. You take it from there. But yeah, it's the real deal. I mean, like I said, is you've seen enough now, Maaxx, and the stories keep you going because a lot of people, there are people that are going to watch this tonight and they're going to go to bed and they're praying for hope. They're praying for a solution. They're praying for something, somebody, some way. They're looking for hope. And if that's you and you're watching this, get a hold of Maaxx because there's something here for you.
Do you know what I found? And this actually, I found this a long time ago in the beginning when I went down the rabbit holes on it. So this is what the Egyptians say. And I have friends that are Egyptians that I've used aloe for things forever. But the Egyptians say this: breast milk contains everything a baby human needs except iron. Manos contains everything an adult human need except water. There you go, guys. Everything you
Yeah.
need.
I mean, it's they've done some really amazing studies and so it's cool. If you need the science to feel validated, great. If you need stories, we got them. So I would just challenge anybody. I've said this pretty much every day for 8 years. If you get on the integrative health bundle, it's going to cost you $7.75 a day, give or take. And you eat that stuff for 90 days and you don't feel like a new human being, I will write you a refund check. I will write you a check and refund your money. And in 8 years, I've written one check.
Yeah, you told me she didn't box, right?
She didn't take. Yeah, she and I got a month and a half, 2 months worth of stuff back from her. So we can't make you eat it, but I promise you, if you eat enough Acemannan and you eat enough Dioxygen, you eat enough of the Betalains, your quality of life will drastically improve. Whether you're, just an everyday, church softball league player, or you're a professional MMA fighter, or you're a retired athlete, or you're just a guy that's just, maybe you work construction and you beat up. This will help you. I promise you, it will help you.
And also, if somebody has an issue with the expenses of it, I am very happy to talk to people and help you figure out what you're wasting money on in your day, because I swear to you that you will have expenses. I mean, this is just for all you modern ladies out there. You guys know what it costs to do hair extensions. I used to spend, so the hair itself, I used nice quality real hair, obviously. The hair was about $1,500. Obviously, the hair will last you for some time. So the hair is usually, depending on how good you take care of it, the hair could last you, they say about 6 months, but I would have my hair for almost 1.5 years. So, but you have to go and get them moved up because your hair is growing. So, the longest I would go, and I don't recommend it, the longest I ever went was 2 months, and then your hair almost starts to break off. And every time you get them moved, that is not cheap. If you have a friend that does it for free, good for you. But I would pay, I'm going to say close to $700 every time. And I'm sure that a lot of you ladies out there know that that's what it fucking costs. That's what
Holy shit.
So do the math there. And now I don't have any hair extensions. I also used to do my nails. And here's the thing, I train MMA, so I have to have short nails. I cut my nails probably 3 times a week because they grow so quickly. But so I mean, like I could probably have long nails. It's just like I can't have it here. I'm gonna hurt somebody. And we have one of the coaches here. He actually lost an eye from somebody in a fight that didn't cut his nails. So we're not gonna do that. That was actually a toenail that he got hurt from. But either way, you don't want to do it. It hurts you. It doesn't work. But nails, I mean, what is that called? I need to do a whole live and just break down expenses, I think. That would be a cool live because I used to do all of these things. All of it. I also used to do, this is probably something that a lot of ladies out there know. If you are a fitness person such as myself and you ever did Botox and fillers, you might know what I'm talking about when I say that if you were lucky, it lasted you like 3 weeks. Because it just, literally your body just burns it off. Also, it's not very good for you. I have a lot of people on here now that just like have not those expenses anymore because aging and wrinkles are typically not to say it's only that, but inflammation. You have inflammation in your body, which is causing you to age quicker. And then I recommend, on top of doing de-aging and Acemannan and Betalains, I don't use skincare products. The only thing I put on my face right now is actually 100% straight beef tallow, and I get it from the guy I buy the meat from. We have a topical Acemannan product. I have it, but I'm very, and I've used it. I get very, like, my thing has always been I'm very dry. And I don't think that I need to be super moist. So I use the beef tallow. That's about it. For my hair, I only wash my hair with a beef tallow soap. It's just beef tallow and coconut oil. That's it. I had a conversation with a friend today, actually. She was like, Maaxx, what do you wash your laundry in? And I said, actually, Joel has inspired me. So I wash my laundry in baking soda and vinegar. And you can use that to clean your dishes. I clean my apartment with just pure alcohol. Like, I now actually just switched out. Most of my clothing is now 100% cotton. I just 2 days ago got my 100% organic linen sheets. Oh my God. Like, I wish I bought that sooner because I had cotton sheets before, 100% Egyptian cotton, which is good. But the linen sheets, oh my God. Like, I probably, and I don't sleep bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't sleep bad at all. But that was like the best 2 nights of sleep I've had in my life, I think. So if somebody's curious on actually like adding on to this, what we're talking about, like, please ask me. I love this shit. I am all about it. And these kind of stuff, just stop putting chemical products on your skin is now because again, if you have bad skin, it's coming from the inside. And I had a conversation when she was always talking about the skincare. And she's like, Mac, but you know what? Like, all these women, they're asking what kind of skincare routine I have. But I was like, if you don't fix the inside, you're literally just hiding the problem. You have to fix the inside first. And when your inside is fixed and you want to have a little something, that's a different story. But you can't just shove in and hide the problem because it's not coming from the outside. And then when you, on top of this, only use natural things or organic things and no polyester, synthetic bullshit clothing, like, it's only going to get better and better and better and better. But you can take one thing at a time. You don't have to do it all. I have my own water distiller now. I drink distilled water every day. But I've been on the journey for so many years. I didn't switch everything. And like, I actually, when I came here to Albuquerque, I was still using fucking all the normal laundry detergents and stuff. I was using the non-scented sensitive skin shit. But then Joel was like, why don't you just use vinegar and baking soda? So now I do. I was like, oh my God, this is great. So I'm still learning too.
Well, and that's the thing is, if you fall in love with the process and the journey, you're always learning. You're either growing or you're dying. So there's that's a good thing. And if you ask the average person, like, what do you spend on lunch? Most people, a lot of people anyway, eat out lunch every day. They take their lunch break and they eat out. And so you say to somebody, okay, what did you spend on lunch today? And most people are spending probably 12 on the low end to $25 on lunch.
At least.
And
Depending on where you live.
yeah, and
I used to live in Miami. You don't spend
yeah,
$25 there.
right. So it's like, there's a way. If people want to feel better, look better, act better, do better,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to find a way. And sometimes it's just having the conversation like, hey, how many energy drinks do you drink every day? Well, I usually buy 3 in the morning and I drink them all day long. Okay, what does that cost you? Well, that's $12. Okay, well, these are $2 a pop.
Feeling like shit. And probably having a
Yeah.
heart attack too. I don't know. All of these stories I've heard from people drinking energy drinks and having like anxiety attacks and heart attacks, and I don't even know everything.
Yeah, it's not good.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm actually. This inspired me. I'm gonna put together a live and break down some like normal person expenses, but I'm gonna say that, and like I've lived all the different lifestyles. I never have been a billionaire or anything, but I used to make a lot of money in the past, and I used to have a super fancy apartment in the middle of Miami downtown. I've had sports cars. I had a BMW i8, which it was almost like I was never that kind of person. So I have like a couple of photos of the car, but I was even like, I didn't even really want to document having that, if that makes sense. Like never felt right for me. I had fancy designer purses and shoes and shit. I now live in an MMA gym. I don't like, I wear these cotton clothes. I don't fucking do my hair or makeup. Not to say that you can't do that. You do whatever makes you happy, but I don't give a shit about material things. When I came here to Albuquerque, I had a sports car Audi that I immediately got rid of and bought an old 2006 Harley Davidson truck. And I love that damn thing. And that's going to be my fucking truck for the rest of my life. And and now I have a bicycle. Like ride my bicycle, and I'm like I just don't give a shit. And also priorities. I think when people start to understand, if I was sitting here and I just have a little bit of money right now, and I had to choose between these shoes I want so bad and an extra pack of Limitless, I'm buying Limitless. Like there's no doubt.
Right.
But I've experienced it, I know. And I swear to everybody out there, and like Joe said, I don't even say, I think I've said it one time to one person. I don't want to say to people that I can give you the money back, because but with fucking I would do this exact same thing. I've said it to friends, if you don't have any results, tell me, I give you all the money back. What do you have to lose? But it's impossible to not have results. And then when you feel that much better and you're so much happier and you have so much more energy, you are probably by yourself going to figure out other things that aren't that high of a priority anymore, because you're prioritizing your life based on feelings or how you feel about things, right? And when you feel freaking fantastic, you're like, you know what? I don't need those shoes right now. I'm going to make sure I Betalains this month or whatever it is you spend on. I don't know.
Absolutely. And that's the average person isn't going to radically change their whole life in 90 days. But it's the compound effect, right?
Yeah.
Is you sub out the Diet Coke for something else, and over the course of a year, that makes a huge difference. Or
Mm-hmm.
instead of watching, scrolling on your phone for 3 hours before bed, you get on a vibration plate for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, after one day, that's not going to make a difference. But after 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
I think we live in a world where everyone's like, oh, you have to be all in with everything. And I think
No.
that sets people up for failure, where you just say, look, let's make a better choice than the one you're currently making. And it might be, instead of drinking 12 Busch Lights, drink 10. And then 3 years from now, maybe you only drink beer when you're celebrating or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But again, it's
like I would restrict myself from the eating, and I had to be perfect with my eating. And then I had my binge eating days when I would just eat myself to fucking death almost. And like, I get all screwed up. And then like fast forward now, I don't have any limitations whatsoever on myself, but I feel so good, and I like my body's good. My body is, I have my nutrients, which is funny. Like if you asked me 5 years ago, I would tell you that I would never stop eating certain things. Like I started eating healthier choices. Like I love donuts. First I ate shitty donuts, then I found a little bit healthier donuts that were like gluten free but still sugar. Now, I mean, I wouldn't even cross my mind to eat these things. And like never, I have not binge eat a single time since like a year, I think. My body doesn't even like I don't even want to do it. I still love
Yeah.
eating, but I and I was telling somebody the other day, we were actually talking about bodybuilding, and a lot of bodybuilders know, like especially big guys, like I used to eat about 3,500 calories a day, which is
Wow.
horrible. Yeah, to build muscle, right? And this guy was saying, Maaxx, since I started the product, like I'm having trouble getting in all my macros. He said I can't get in all the food, and I said, well. Do you need to eat it? He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna grow muscle. I'm gonna be strong. And I said, well, if Acemannan has the nutrients your body need, and you're eating food for what? Nutrients, right? So if you're getting the nutrients from the Acemannan, wouldn't it make perfect sense that your body is now asking for that much food anymore? So I
Makes
said, this
sense.
is my theory, and I'm not saying for people to do that. But technically, if you already got the nutrients in, would you need food? Like, would you actually? And again, this is just a theory that I've been like thinking about, because I've been doing a bunch of fasting since I came here. So I fast. I don't have like a routine. Sometimes I do it 2 weeks in a row. Sometimes I do it like this week, but then I don't do it after. But then I fast for about like 3 days in a row. And actually, a few
Yep.
times I did 4 days in a row. And I feel fantastic. And I'm still training MMA. And I feel good. I have energy. I have strength. And I'm not to say that I don't get hungry at all, because yeah, I do a little bit, but it's not that bad. And I actually had a girl that started the Acemannan. She did a 9-day fast, and she said, Maaxx, this is the easiest fast I've ever done.
Yeah, I started, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago. On Saturday night, I eat my meal 6 p.m. and then I don't eat again till Monday at noon. And so basically, Saturday nights all day Sunday, and then half the day on Monday. And I always feel fabulous. And I think that, I think there's a time and a place for fasting for sure. And I think that we've been programmed to eat, and just be useless eaters sometimes, and
Yep.
and emotionally eat. I've done that. So yeah, there's, again, it's learning more about how your body works, and everybody's a little bit different. And so it's just kind of that's why I love, but that's what I love about Alovea is we've attracted all kinds of people that are, people that have the answers you're looking for if you have the courage to ask the questions, right? So, I mean, whether it's tax advice or health, or,
Yeah.
is protein that important? Or, I'm just learning now, like, I don't look at calories at all, but I try to get in my mind, I'm trying to get 220 grams of protein every day. You know what I mean? And I'm eating way less, but I'm eating way more protein, and I'm not nearly as hungry as I used to be. So, and getting rid of the processed foods and the garbage carbs. Yeah,
We really
keep
have
it simple.
somebody that can talk about everything. And I've told you a little, and I will be sharing more online very soon about how to become free. And basically, somebody might give you tax advice, but I will give you advice on how to not pay taxes at all. We can leave it at that right now. And it's fully legal.
Yeah, yeah,
I will dig further into this very
yep.
soon.
Taxes. I want to pay the lowest legal amount of taxes ever.
Well,
I
Joe,
want to.
I'm going to help you very soon. I have already teased my audience about this. about the sovereign citizenship, national citizenship, how to actually do. I'm actually going to send you the application. So anyone who's born in the United States, I don't know the laws for any other country yet. So I'm sorry about that right now. But in the United States, and I'm not born here, but when we come here, we get a social, you become a non-human living being. So when you're born, and you get a birth certificate, you're basically no longer a living being. You need to go online and register yourself as a living human. And it's super simple, and I'm going to share more information. You literally just go online and register your birth certificate. That's all you do. Now you are, instead of just an object, now you're a living being. And then after that, we can go further down the rabbit hole. But that's kind of like the step one. So if people didn't know that, to the country, you are not considered alive. FYI, this is truth. It's kind of
Wow.
crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm digging in, and I just got some new information. So I've actually been using 4 different people. So I hired 2 people, like paid them to coach me. On top of that, I also have an actual friend that has been doing this for so long. And then besides that, some of you people might have heard about Don Keelam. He has a lot of free books on Amazon Books or Audible if somebody wants to start reading. Just to say, it is a lot of information. There's a lot of law language, so it's like a little heavy to read, but I do highly suggest if somebody's curious, it's totally worth doing it. And I'm not an AI person. I try to stay away from it as much as I can. I use it very little, but in this case, because English is not my first language. My English might be great, but I don't understand all the laws. So I took the information in these books and I threw it in ChatGPT and translated it into child's language. So if you can do
Nice.
that, guys, that's also a way if you don't fully understand everything. Even though honestly, like the laws that go around this, it's not super, super complicated, but there's still a little law language, obviously. But it's really freaking interesting, and I want to start talking more about it, but I don't really want to do a too deep dive until I actually have finalized it for myself. And I am not American, so a couple of years ago I stored my entire home in my friend's house in moving boxes. And then it turned out, long story short, he moved out and threw out my boxes without telling me. So my neutralization form, aka birth certificate, and everything was in the box. So I had to order a new one. And did you guys know that it's 6 to 12 months wait time to get it? So I'm literally just sitting here rolling my thumbs, waiting for my replacement paper so I can file all my shit. That's why I haven't been able to finalize it. I was like 6 to 12 months. And do you know what's even crazier? So some time back, I got divorced. Like we separated a long time ago, but the actual finalization of the divorce happened. And as a woman, I have to change my name everywhere, right? So I need a new driver's license, all the things. And I can't even go do that without this paper. I can't do anything. It's ridiculous. And then all I want to do is get the paper so I can file my shit so I no longer even need a driver's license. Because when you become that, what I've talked about, you don't need a driver's license or a registration or anything of the sort anymore. But I still have to file everything with the paper. It's super annoying. So I've been waiting 3.5 months so far. So yeah,
Wow.
I'm just waiting. I'm hoping it's 6 months, not 12. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, let's make
All
it.
I need
I
is
hope you get it this week.
copy. All I need is like I already have the paper. It's not like it's a new application. I just need a new copy because it got lost. You know, USCIS is a freaking joke. And
Wow.
I don't know how it works for an actual American that is born here. I would assume it's the same for you if you lose your birth certificate. I would assume you would have to wait the same time. Probably.
No, I mean, I think you just go down to the because I had to get one printed out for my daughter when I got her passport, and literally I just went down to the courthouse, and then they sent me to
Uh
the clerk's office or something, and it was like $12 and they printed it out, you know?
$12 to okay, so do you know what I think why it's like this? Because I came here as non-American and all of my registration is through the USCIS and USCIS is its own thing and since they do applications, they're so backed up and especially all the
Makes
legal
sense.
grants they take in and stuff and it's $555. The only good thing about that is that 555 is like my magic number I see everywhere. So I was like, okay, it's a sign. Let's just pay.
Yeah,
Yeah, $555
that's cool.
for a
I
real
love it.
paper. I'm like, $12 sounds better.
Yeah. Well, I hope that
Never
I
gonna
have a
lose
feeling
it.
you're going to get it this week in the mail and it'll just be done.
Yeah, I think so too. Sending it out to the universe. Thank you, USCIS.
Yes.
So yeah, that's all. But besides
Awesome.
that, I know I've been like telling people that I will talk about it, but I want to talk about it when I have everything completed. I've done it. I am that. So I can say, hey, here's information. Go read. I've done it. It worked. You know, that's how I'd like to lay it out. But
Love it.
anyone can still go and do the research. I do advise because there is a lot of information. I spent almost 3 months learning and reading all these laws and papers and stuff. And everyone I've talked to has said this. You can buy a book, like kind of like step by step how to do it, but don't do that because you need to know your rights. So let's say, just for an example, let's say you become a national citizen or a sovereign citizen or whatever. Now you don't need to have a driver's license. Let's say you're driving your car, and I've seen these TikTok videos about this. Let's say you're driving your car and you get stopped because you drove too fast or whatever. And they say, hey, license and registration, please. And you say, I don't have a license. And they're like, okay, we're going to arrest you because you don't have a license. And you're like, no, I don't need a license. And they're like, look at you like you're stupid, right? You need to know your rights now. Why do you not need a license? And how do you prove that? So that's why, like, don't just do it because I saw a bunch of those videos where like, I don't need a driver's license. And they're like, we're going to arrest you. No, I don't need one. And he's like, okay, you're stupid, you know? So it's like, don't just do it. You need to understand why and how it works. That's why there is a little bit of work behind it. Just so you know what the fuck to say. And if you end up in a situation like that, you need to be able to prove yourself that you are right.
Well, and it's definitely interesting, and
Very.
I'm excited to see how it all pans out for you.
Mm.
And you know, again, it's about freedom, health
Yeah.
freedom,
Yeah.
wealth freedom, time freedom. We're designed to be sovereign, free beings, you know, and so
And
yeah,
to live in the nature and not even need money. Everything is free. Energy is free. You grow your own food. Everyone loves each other. It's just beautiful. That's how it should be. Why do
yep,
we need money?
I agree.
I
I
just feel
agree.
like if the world actually looked like that, let's say you didn't have to work, you didn't need money, nothing like that. I have a hard time believing people would lay down and be couch potatoes. Like because everyone would be healthy and feel good and be energetic, like you wouldn't even want to do that probably.
Right. Well, and again, then you got to ask yourself why do people sit in front of the TV or the couch for 4 hours, right?
Mhm.
And is that their escape, or is that their paradigm? Are they programmed, or is it a dopamine hit? I mean,
Mhm.
we're learning more and more every single day.
Mhm.
And you go back and you watch some of these old shows, and it's interesting. It's an interesting time to be alive,
Oh yeah. Very
and we
much.
can we can make the world better, and that's what we're doing. So
And
I love
we
it.
yes. Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap up. It's getting late. I'm gonna eat and go to bed. I wanna give a little shout out. I should do it all the time. So this it's like backwards going. The Spider-Man here is actually made by a girl named Ari, which I have had on my live before, or we did a recording actually. So she had ovarian cancer, and then she had a lot of interesting side effects, and then she started Acemannan, and let's just say that it changed her life. That's how I found her, and then I realized that she was an incredible artist. So now I actually have a lot of people in Alovea who's now seen her and bought some of her art, and I want to give a shout out. Go buy her art because she's incredible. And her Instagram is ari.mnemonic. You can go and buy her art. And actually, I need to tell her to increase her prices because I just ordered 6 more pieces of art and she's not expensive. But I'm going to have
Wow.
a lot more cool stuff up here that she has done. She's very, very, very good. So I also like to say anyone who's a part of Alovea, I would love to promote everything you do because there's a lot of cool people. We got actually another woman. I'm gonna make a little promo for her. Well, a woman that did an energy reading on me right in the beginning before I came to Albuquerque, and she is freaking amazing. And she did this energy reading, which was just so cool. And then through more energy work later, I ended up actually seeing in my visions all the things she told me, and she's great. Same there. She's not very expensive at all. I highly recommend anyone to do it. She also does tarot readings and she's on Acemannan. And she told me that when she started doing energy work on people, her visions and like her, when she goes into and she reads people's energy fields, she said, oh my God, everything's happening so much faster, so much easier, so much more vivid because her body is getting better and cleaner and healthier. So a lot of very cool artistic people, spiritual people are loving the product. This guy Alabar Jones that we work with, me and Joel, the exorcism and astral traveler, he's on product and he is over the moon already, let's just say. And I'm hoping that we're gonna have him share that story at some point, maybe in correlation with he's told me he's gonna do a channeling on my live one sometime. I'm not gonna say much more right now, but it's gonna be great. So yeah, a lot of great people are using the product, and it's helping them in their not only in their life but in their work and in their business. Because when you feel good and you don't have maybe no more sick days and you just have more energy, you might go to work and be more efficient. If you have a boss, might be super happy with you. Who knows? Maybe give you a raise. Everything,
Yep.
it spirals. Bad things spiral, but good things spiral too.
Everything is connected, right? And that's a good way to say it because, if you can have success in one area of your life, you can have success in all areas. But sometimes we have limiting beliefs, and sometimes we don't. When we're in the thick of it, we don't necessarily see how everything is connected. But yeah, we're building a volunteer army of people that want to make the world a better place, want to help people, want to save kids. So if you haven't gotten a hold of Maaxx, reach out to Maaxx. Hear some more testimonies. Give Alovea 90 days. Eat our science for 90 days, and you will not regret it. And if you feel compelled to share it with other people, that's great too. I mean, literally, Maaxx, every month for 8 years, I've gotten $300 worth of free stuff.
Oh, me too. Oh, actually, we should point that out. My first order I ordered, obviously, but after that, I never paid for my monthly order. Then I have on top of this bought my 6-month supply, but that's a different story. I don't have to do that. It's just me wanting to do that. But I get $300 worth of free stuff every month. And I think a lot of people on board knows that now. And we actually, this weekend, I'm going to meet. So Snake was writing here that there's a guy he has this podcast called Disorganized Productions. And he from Netherlands? I think it's Netherlands. So he's flying out to the States this weekend. We're going to meet up. Ben, him, me, Joel, Skunko Phil, his wife. And that's going to be great. And I haven't met them before. And Snake also said, Joe, I can get you on show. So Snake has like a podcast network and he books people for podcasts. So if you want to be on some podcast, he's offering here.
Well, I've been talking a little bit with Snake aka Shane, and texting back and forth. And I sent you, Maaxx, some pictures. We're redoing my upstairs bedroom to turn it into a podcast area. So we're going to be doing a lot more of these. And thank you for being a trooper, Maaxx. Thank you for nourishing. I think you're almost at 90,000 servings.
Yeah,
You're
well,
almost at 100.
I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna post when I'm on 100,000. That was my number goal. I told
Yeah,
you. I'm
I
almost.
know, but you're almost there.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. I mean, because you've had an opportunity to see the kids that we're nourishing, but a lot of people haven't got that opportunity. So whether you've nourished 5 kids, 5,000 kids, whatever the number is, and thank you for helping us save kids.
Thank you. Do you know what my mom said? Maaxx,
Mm.
you know what I'm gonna ask now? Like we're on in Swedish, obviously,
Yeah.
and said something. She just wants grandkids. Well, are you gonna adopt any of these kids that you went to see? She said. I was like, I don't know about that. Oh, hi there. Look who's here.
Hey,
Okay, now we can't
look
get
at
out.
that guy.
Do you want
Hi,
to share?
Joe.
Do you want to share something?
Hey, buddy.
Everyone's on here. Oh God, the whole thing is fun. We got Ben on. We got Snake on. Snake is popping here.
Look at Joe's lighting.
I know.
Look
Yeah,
at
doesn't it look classy?
I'm proud of you.
I got this. Well, it wasn't my idea, but Maaxx hooked me up because she's like, we need to change your layout there. So I got a comfy leather chair and I got this stand with my phone on it now with a light on it. I'm just taking this to the next level here.
Well, hey, I'm gonna have you on the show soon. I am proud of you. I love you both. I just wanted to stop in and say hi, man.
I love your robe. Let's talk tomorrow.
He's the robe man.
He is, dude. I mean,
Did I get a matching
yeah.
robe? Because I have the same glasses now too. I don't know where I put them. They're here somewhere. I
Yeah.
ordered those glasses he's wearing. They're blue light glasses. That's what we're wearing. I don't actually need glasses. I'm the only one in my whole family. I turned 40 this year, and I'm the only one in my entire family that doesn't have bad vision. My mom has told me my whole life I'm gonna be blind when first she's like, you're gonna be blind when you're 35. Oh, you're gonna be blind when you're 40. I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know where I put
That's
them,
good.
but I have the same glasses because I ordered them and I didn't like them. I gave them to him, and I was like, they're kind of nice. I want them too. So
I love it. I love it. We have a motley crew of people, and it's a lot of fun, and we're gonna have a lot of fun saving people's lives and saving kids. And yeah, thank you for having me on, Maaxx.
thank you.
And I love you, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. We'll be in North Carolina 2 weeks.
I love it. Love you too, and thank you for being
I
here.
love you. Yep,
Bye.
no problem. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye bye. You can just jump off.
All right, I'll just hit goodbye. Hang up. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, guys. That was Joe. Joe is great. Love Joe. And I need to actually, so I made these buttons with sounds on and I never used them, but I need to do that. And I just don't remember which button is what. That's fine. Oh, now the whole thing is okay. Either way, I need to get better at using those, so I'm going to start doing that. But I'm going to tap out because it's late and I'm a little hungry, and then I'm going to sleep. And I love you all, and thanks for watching. And I will be back on Thursday with a super cool guy that does cool things, let's just say. Yeah, I'll be sharing more. He's gonna get to share his story. He is a veteran that has some pretty crazy stories. We're probably gonna split it up into 2 lives. So there's one about health and then one about the military type of deal. But that would be awesome. So tune in on Thursday, and I'll see you all then.